Hello there, good afternoon, and many thanks for sticking around to your national broadcaster, that is UBC. An interesting kind of conversation is what we are definitely going to be having this very afternoon. And I'm glad you are glued and watching this particular time. I am Joram Paul Sonko, and when I say sensitive and say a topic of high interest is what we're going to be having, our main focus this time around is looking at the 19th NAM and 3rd South Summits. These will be taking place in Uganda in January 2024. When you look at the 3rd South Summit, that will be taking place at the Kampala Serena Hotel, and then also the other side of NAM that will be happening at the Speak Resort in Munyonyo. Now, looking at the 3rd South Summit, does look at bringing a new dynamic kind of cooperation and partnership amongst the 134 member states of the group of 77, if I'm to put it in that way, and it's under the theme, leaving no one behind. And if we mention leaving no one behind, that means even us as the host nation, Uganda, are not supposed to be left behind. Better yet, the private sector in this kind of situation, because we are living in a competitive world where we really need to understand the same kind of discussions that will impact the Ugandans as well as the private sector players. Now, a conversation like this one is of high interest, like you've had. I do have two guests from the Private Sector Foundation of Uganda who are likely to give us every little detail of what to expect come January 2024, including, if I am to note, that is including a very interesting point of view here, that is the East African Business and Investment Summit. It has been launched today at the Kampala Serena Hotel. So you can look at how best we are moving in with our kind of conversations. Now, joining us this afternoon to have all these discussions, I do have Ms. Sarah Kajingo, who is the Vice Chairperson at the Private Sector Foundation of Uganda. A very good afternoon, ma'am, and many thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having us.
All right. And then besides that, I also have a gentleman who is at my far left, or I would say my extreme left. That is none other than Ronnie Mulongo. A very good afternoon, sir. He serves as the Private Sector Foundation of Uganda Member Services Manager. Good afternoon, and many thanks for joining us, sir.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having us at this time.
Okay, and very exciting for the topic that we do have in regards to this particular major summit. But my first question would be, what exactly is the East African Business and Investment Summit? And it will be going to you, Ms. Sarah Kajingo.
Private Sector Foundation Uganda is the apex body of the private sector, whose role it is to ensure businesses thrive. Our board is uniquely structured. We are elected from among over 350 business associations, which is a combined 2.5 million businesses. So the sectors we represent range from ICT, manufacturing, insurance and financial services, professional services, tourism, creatives, tourism and hospitality, over 12 sectors. And true to the theme of leaving no one behind, Uganda has invested immensely. You know that we are constructing a convention center in Munyonyo. We are going to host esteemed international participants from over 120 countries of NAM, 134 of G77 in our country. But the thing is, we are taking this opportunity to partner with the government of the Republic of Uganda to ensure that nobody is left behind, especially those engaged in businesses.
True.
And as you know, majority of Ugandans are employed by the private sector, whether micro, medium, or small, or big. So what's going to happen is that the East African Investment and Business Forum will be a pre-event to the NAM. And over the last few months, we have been seized with preparations. We have set up committees. We are happy that government has enabled the private sector to participate in this in order to ensure that Ugandans really benefit. So 15th we will be setting up, 16th the exhibition kicks off, 17th we will have the investment agencies of all East African countries here in Uganda. They will be pitching, sharing bankable proposals. On the 18th we will be, the event will be graced by their excellencies of East Africa here at the Kampala Serena Conference Center, ahead of the summits in Munyonyo, ahead of the NAM, ahead of the G77, and we are working closely with our counterparts in the region, with KEPSA, with our Tanzanian colleagues, because you see, Uganda has been driving industrialization. Many young people are now woke to adding value to products. Only over time, Private Sector Foundation has partnered with our valued partners such as MasterCard Foundation, and we've enabled over 550 products belonging to small and medium enterprises to acquire certification from UNBS. Now, the intention is that our products have the requisite standards in order to penetrate the regional markets, penetrate the international markets. So everybody now is woke to earning income, to taking part in value chains of these commodities. You saw we hosted the coffee summit, where we are saying, no, we are pushing for the African Union to adopt this as an agenda that progressively Africa should end the trade in raw materials, because we lose so much value if we do not add value so bad. So it makes business sense, because if Kenya, young people, even those already established, they're adding value to products. Tanzania is doing the same thing. South Sudan, Rwanda, Burundi, now Somalia, given the security that is progressively being built, we are going to saturate this East African market with our products. In the long term, in 10 years, it makes business sense for us to start now, penetrate other markets, and there is no other opportunity such as now, the opportunity of such esteemed participants, business leaders from around the world, to showcase what Uganda produces, our products, to showcase our services, to indeed use this as an opportunity to partner with business leaders around the world, and the backward linkages are immense. Take coffee, for example.
Sure.
There is a farmer at production level. You have a processor at mid-level. You have transporters. You have distributors. There is the exporter. So if you manage to get partnerships along these value chains, they trickle down back to Ugandans. To our supermarkets, these delegates are going to be buying our products from our supermarkets.
Sure thing.
So we are all going to benefit. But specific to the exhibition, one, I mean, well, we are talking greening, we are talking ESG. So we are going to ensure that the exhibition is over 80% a smart exhibition, where we shall require companies to showcase their using technology to exhibit. So that, I mean, if you have a nice video, you have a platform you have created that you're exhibiting, I mean, then two, we shall have business-to-business engagements, but also business to government, because as businesses, there are challenges we face, and there is no other time than now to be in the same room with government and businesses and sort out policy issues, sort out issues that could be bottleneck to the growth of businesses in the global south. So for us, we're excited and we are looking forward.
And well, to our viewers, if I'm to break this down for you as well, we have 134 member states here of the group of 77. But when you look at the kind of situation, these are huge opportunities. 134, not only the 134 countries, by the way, we also expect other participants in these particular summits. Now, getting to Mr. Ronnie Molongo, in relation to the fact that we shall be hosting 2 summits in January, my viewer out there, the private sector players will want to understand, how does the business forum fit in?
Thank you so much. You know, what is so interesting, this is the first time you see we're having the 2 summits in one country. And Uganda, we are blessed to have that. So this is an opportunity for us as the private sector to look into it, especially the opportunities, if you're going into the opportunities of the trade, tourism, and investments. This is a key spotlight for us to come out and shine. You know, one key thing about our country is that people have a feel about the bad things of what the country is on for, but they don't know that the country has beautiful, good things too, especially in terms of products and services. And this is quite key for us as the private sector. And you will know that NAM and G77 is the summit, and that is the political side. But however, Uganda side, we have come up with something that is interesting through the partnership with government and with the guidance of Minister of Foreign Affairs and Minister of Trade. We had to have a sideline event, and that is the Business Forum, which is going to have an exhibition and also an investment meeting conference in it. Now, what is quite interesting is that we as PSFU have come out to work together with other associations who are also members of PSFU, who have come out to work with Uganda Insurers Association, Uganda Bankers Association, Manufacturers Association, Uganda National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Association of Uganda Tour Operators, Uganda Hotel Owners Association. This is quite critical because most of these delegates are going to sleep into these hotels. And then we have got Uganda Tourism Association. So without forgetting also, we have MTN on board. And Kasita telecommunications is also there. So this has helped us in such a way that we are building something that is quite critical. We have been having meetings through different subcommittees to ensure that we have a very good business forum that is going to be very successful. And we have a buy-in of the government already through Minister of Trade, Uganda Investment Authority coming in, Uganda Free Zones Authority, the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development is also in it, and Uganda Tourism Board. And we are saying, we as the private sector, now we have built this together with the government through PPP because we can work together. You know, they say that when you work together, you achieve a lot. Now, government and private sector are working together to ensure that we have a successful business forum and exhibition together with investment. Now, on the investment side, we are having the Uganda Investment Authority discussing with the counterparts in the region. And that is from Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, coming into Uganda. So that at the end of the day, on day 18, we have a pitching to the business communities. That the business communities that are coming in from the Arab world to India, to attract them. Because if you look at currently our market in the East African region, now DR Congo is on, and soon Somalia is to join, you find that the market is big. So for us as private sector, we are quite excited. Now, the spotlight goes into the sectors that have been mentioned.
Because I wanted to understand, you did put 3 bigger sectors. You mentioned tourism, trade, investment as well. Looking at it, do we have priorities under these specific sectors that you're focusing on as the private sector foundation?
No, when you look at all those sectors, first of all, they are all a priority. For instance, if I'm looking at tourism, just as tourism is all, you know, tourism, for it, since the time immemorial when COVID hit us, it has been affected. And now we are getting back onto that limelight of running the race with them. So what are those key? And we're inviting these key business delegates to come in. That is more of selling that. It is one of the most generating income activities for the country. So tourism comes in, and tourism is going to be on the highlight if these delegates come in. So your Association of Uganda Tour Operators has come out and said, well, we are going to have a package for these tour delegates who are going to come in, and it's going to be in that area. And since we're working with them, that is already in process, and it's ongoing through the Committee of Tourism and Hospitality. Now, on this area of trade and investments, especially now look at investment, Uganda Investment Authority is handling that arm to ensure that we get attracting more investors into Uganda. But not only in Uganda, because remember we mentioned that on day 18 we shall have the heads of state from the region who are going to sit, and there's going to be pitching. If we have the investment authorities from these East African countries coming in and they're pitching, now you look at the opportunity that is going to be vast, and we have these business delegates from out of Uganda who have come in and you're pitching to them. They'll pick in, and that one creates more employment opportunities. Our interest is, how do we create more employment opportunities for our young population, especially Uganda, which is hosting currently. Now in trade, we are saying there are some, trade is more of, it's through the value chain. You find that in agriculture, you need someone in trade. When it comes to manufacturing, you need in trade. Then all this, you find that there's logistics also playing in the value chain. So it's quite critical that trade passes through all this like move, and to ensure that all these are plugged in, to ensure that at the end of the day, you're going to trade in either products or you're going to trade in services. And at the end of the day, you are going to achieve. And at the end, as I've mentioned, we are looking at creating opportunities for Ugandans through, one, opening markets, two, creating employments. Because if you realize, Uganda is one of the countries with the youngest population.
Yes.
And our population is growing, and next year we shall be having the census. Now we're already around
47 million.
47 million.
True.
So where are we getting jobs for these youth here who are getting out of universities and so forth? So these are the opportunities that are coming up for us as a country through these priority sectors that are earmarked for this summit.
On the same issue of the opportunities, I would wish Ms. Sarah Kajingo to add something on the same, because what I do know about business people or business-minded people, business-oriented people, is that there's always supposed to be a return to investment. As much as you're doing something, you're always aiming at something that you're supposed to get. And when you look at this particular plan, which is well, put out there by the Private Sector Foundation through this business forum, it does look like a strategic plan, a comprehensive one, a plan that looks to be luring investors into our space. What are the aims, or what are we looking at after the summit?
Of course, you know that our country is very, very beautiful.
Very true.
That we have severally been voted as the friendliest country in the world.
In regards to how hospitable we are as well.
Yes, very hospitable. So there is no better time than now to position Uganda as a destination for MICE, meetings, incentives, conferences, and events. And this is dependent, it is contingent on how well we will execute the Investment and Business Forum, the East African Business and Investment Forum. It is contingent on how well we execute the NAM and G77 summits. It will position our country as secure, which we are. We have enjoyed uninterrupted stability for over 35 years. We export peace. The regulatory framework for investment is really good. Uganda is a good country to invest in with several incentives, but Ugandans too are looking to these benefits. We have had the opportunity to partner with the government of the Republic of Uganda on integration of markets, on partnerships as a region, as a country. But like I said earlier, we have to look to the long term. Before we know it, you never know, 5 years, Kenya is producing milk products. We are producing roofing products. Kenya does. Congo, DR Congo may. So before we know it, 5, 10 or 20 years, we will saturate our market. And so if we don't look to other markets, then people who have now woken to adding value, and you know, this is His Excellency the President has been driving industrialization around the country, saying, you know, every Ugandan should get involved in the money economy. You remember the time when people produced vanilla and there was no market after a big boom? This has happened to maize before, but yet if you add value, you increase the shelf life. But
and also the tea dealers lately are also in the same kind of circus now.
Yes, but recently we commissioned a study in partnership with the Uganda Manufacturers Association, and the #1 cost driver is actually logistics. So these sectors are interlinked. We have an opportunity now that even a manufacturer who is looking to long-term investment and therefore requires patient capital, you have an opportunity to come and pitch to an international business entrepreneur willing to part with capital to invest, and you share equitably and grow your brand, and in the end it will be Ugandans who are benefiting from jobs. It will be us earning returns from the products. It's the taxation, the revenues that go, we pay through taxation that then builds hospitals. So the benefits are immense. Then two, we are already, people are excited around the world. We have it on good authority that top business people will be in Uganda. They will attend this forum. And how do we know about this? We have an online platform which you simply click and register. So business people around the world, Ugandans, our private sector have already registered. So we shall also be matchmaking our business people with the visiting businessmen, and they take it up from there. So it's very, very exciting in terms of our preparedness. Uganda Tourism Board, which is charged with quality assurance, Uganda Hoteliers Owners Association, and you know, the National Organizing Committee is chaired by the head of the civil service, Miss Lucy Nachobe. So it is that high level, and so we who are charged with the part of the business forum also have committees across the board, and we are ready and looking forward to receiving the visitors. The convention center, we have been informed that it will be ready by then. You can see that infrastructure in Kampala, there is some urgency, some sort of urgency to ensure that the roads are well done. So we are ready, and we look forward to receive the business leaders as well as the international delegates.
Okay, Ronnie, you mentioned something about Kasita. And what I do know about Kasita as a body that is bringing the traders together, and I believe Kasita does work with quite a number of trader bodies who are as well under the Private Sector Foundation. When you look at the likes of Mbasita, that is in Barara as well. I want to put it in this way, the traders specifically, how are they going to benefit from this? Because you see, traders, some of the traders have most of them have less interest in getting into such forums. As Ms. Sarah Kajing has mentioned, matchmaking and, you know, creating room for these huge partnerships that we desire as a country to see businesses expand. How important and how crucial is this business forum for the traders in Uganda specifically?
Thank you. You know, what is interesting is that, you know, this event is not just about Uganda. It's just about the region, creating employments and creating opportunities, especially in areas of investment. Now, trade comes in as one of the key critical viable sectors. You know, as I mentioned, that in all sectors, in whatever you do, trade plays a crucial central role of ensuring that whatever the good or the service reaches the final consumer, or the product reaches the final destination where it is supposed to be. And that is played around by trade. And trade does that through logistics too. Now, it is where that's something that moves left, they move together. It's like, it's more of a body. You know, when you're walking, you don't walk with your hands, you know, your right hand moving with your frame, you know, your right hand moves with the left, but your right hand moving with your right leg, then that one is, there's a way it's disconnected. You find that it doesn't match away.
True.
But when you look at now trade playing, the role trade plays in this is that it ensures that whatever the product, it will reach the final destination. Now, looking at what it is to this, is that, however, most of the time people think that the trade is from out in, but we have got also from Uganda exporting out. Now, these business delegates usually come to find out what can we get in Uganda. One of the critical things is that Uganda is blessed, especially in the areas of agriculture. Our products are organic. Okay. And this is very crucial for the outside world. And they come in and they say, what products you have? Is it organic? Yes. And that is a good to go area. Now, trade plays that role in ensuring that do these products go out to the right? And who takes them? Now, in the summit, when you look at it, for us as the private sector, we know it as one where we're looking at least we should have 5 deals closed. And these deals should be worth around maybe $100 million. But that we're looking at creating employment throughout each and every value chain of this. Now, if this is the end game which we were looking at least 5, and we want those 5 to ensure that in these 5, if you look at a value chain of any of those 5 that comes in, what employment are we going to have? Now, for the person like a trader who is a member of Kasita or Mbasita, this is the opportunity for you to look to it and say, you know what, this is an area that I have to take advantage of. What do I need to do? The bank comes in, the bank also becomes a key player. Now, someone will say, now the banks are not involved. Because, for instance, Ronnie is the trader, and I'm the one. I'll say, okay, I've seen this is an opportunity. I'll now look at the staff manpower that I need, what is the working capital that I need, and where will I get the finances to ensure that I will take part in this cake. Now, that is where I have to plug in. You know, it's plug, play, and get what is yours. Don't have to play the whole thing. As a trader, you say, you know what, this is an area of this cake. If I want that piece of the icing, I should pick that piece of the icing, not go for the whole cake, because it's quite big for all of us.
You might actually lose out. And Mr. Arkagingo, looking into the situation, you mentioned exhibitions, stalls. This is something that attracts not only the visitors we're having, but also our Ugandans out there at home. Now, speaking of the Ugandans out there at home, I'm also speaking to the viewers now. For those who want to take part, how do they do? Mother country, what do they need to do?
Imagine Uganda brimming, I'll be here, okay. So you can, take the notch higher. This is a national community. So we are going to reach out register through those online platforms. The other thing, partners, you can partner by way of sponsorship.
Okay.
We have several committees at all levels. The Association of Uganda Tour Operators is already coming up with packages, so that when delegates are planning to travel to Uganda, they can also book to experience our diverse culture, our hospitality, check out our national parks, move to the countryside, so that the benefits that come with such a business forum, with such summits of distinguished people, their excellencies who will be here for the NAM and G77 summits, trickle down to the person in the countryside, a person in Kasese. But you, business community, please register and participate in both the investment summit and the exhibition. We are partnering with the Ministry of Trade. The investment summit, we are partnering with Uganda Investment Authority under the guidance of the Ministry of Finance. You know that extra territorial matters, it's the Ministry of Foreign Affairs that is charged with it. So the entire government is fully seized with this under the leadership of the head of the civil service, and we are very honored as Private Sector Foundation to ensure that over our 350 business associations are able to participate. Please do not miss this opportunity. Go to the link and register, and reach out to you partners who have not yet reached out to sponsor.
Okay.
Do not miss a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Ronnie, on that issue of registering the businesses to take part of this event, in regards to the link Ms. Sarkejing has mentioned, do we have a dedicated website sort of where we could find people directly opening up and register? And do we have any physical location? Because I want to believe some traders, by the way, feel more comfortable. However hard we push for the technology issue, some of them feel more comfortable reaching out. You know how defiant they are.
Yeah. Actually, we know how far they go.
Yes.
And to us, what we can say for those who are not, we got these phones which help us nowadays. If you don't have that, we are still sticking to your capability.
Just like Ms.
Just a simple scroll. Others say that one for picking rice. And they're
more comfortable with
it, but we tell people that those phones are not only used for chatting, but they can be used for business as well.
True.
And so the link will be we have a link, and for you to get to access that link, you're going to go to the PSFU website, and you will follow the prompts from there, and you'll click on the link, and you will have to register. Currently, we are left with 24 days to the event. It has a countdown.
Very true.
Have you registered? And when you reach there, have you registered? Yes or no?
And we have only a week for the year to come to an end. So that means the days are also coming closer.
The days are also coming closer. Now, what is so interesting is that we have that through the PSFU website. All right? That is www.psfuganda.org. Then you will follow through the prompts. However, for those who cannot follow that, there are those ones, some who, like me, I've just migrated recently
into the digital
era. I was still stuck to my Bopesa, the ones they prefer.
It is a very comfortable kind of thing for the business people. that I know.
Yeah, I just migrated recently. I was enjoying my capability. However, you can reach PSFU on Plot 43, Nakasero Road. We are there. We are not closing for Christmas break. We are there to serve you.
Business never closes.
Business never closes. Because we want to ensure that, at PSFU we have a slogan which says, business growth is our business. We want to see that your business grows, and that is our business. All right? So to that person who is watching us and is that business person, we know that when we see your business growing, that is our business. We don't want to see it decline, because if it declines, then that means we are also not in business and we are doing so badly. Now, the reason as to why we put those links is for you, and we are there, we have a desk there to welcome you, to ensure that we support you on this, is to ensure that we have a successful summit. And That is the business forum, especially. That will take place at Kampala Serena Hotel.
Okay.
Not Munyonyo.
Yes.
Munyonyo area will be for the heads of state.
I do have a question regarding the same Kampala Serena Hotel. You have been there for the launch.
Yes.
With the interactions you've had with some of the stakeholders, have they happened to share, some of what they believe should be implemented? And kindly, if there has been any, can you share with the viewers?
Oh yes, only recently the advanced teams of many of these countries jetted in. They visited the airport, they have visited the convention center, they have engaged government at various levels. But of course, the fact that Uganda was picked as to host this is testament to the confidence
they have in us.
They have in us. So that one is not contestable. Uganda has hosted several other events in the past, the Commonwealth. So we are ready. The hotels are ready. Everything is ready, really. We as PSFU are also proactively engaging. We have reached out to our membership. We have actually already reached out. And what's now remaining is execution. And which is why we are calling on you. Please do not be left out. Do not be left out in history. Come pitch, learn how businesses are competitive. Recently, I attended the year-end for the Kampala City Traders Association, and I was actually not surprised because I have seen many businesses at the lowest level on LinkedIn. They are on these digital platforms. They are taking advantage of this to market, to pitching, to really, they are in the face of all of us. These days, online marketing has really caught up in Uganda. But please do come participate in the investment summit. Participate in the exhibition, get to learn about competitiveness, how it's done in the rest of the world, sign partnerships, and at the government level, like we said earlier, the regional investment agencies will be here to pitch, we'll have bankable projects, and we will be there to matchmake you with partners across the world.
Mr. Mulongo, you
wanted to add something?
Yes, sure.
With what Sarah has mentioned, when we're reaching out, we're not only reaching out to Uganda. Private PSFU, we are the national focal point for the East African Business Council in East Africa, and also the COMESA Business Council. But however, specifically the East African Business Council, we've reached to the East African Business Council. And we already have delegates from within the East African Business Council who have already picked interest. But we have reached out to KEPSA, Kenya Private Sector Alliance, which is the equivalent of PSFU. We have reached to Tanzania Private Sector, Rwanda Private Sector Federation, Burundi National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and the South Sudan National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, then also finally Federation of Enterprises in Democratic Republic of Congo. Now, we have reached out to them and we're like, we can work this together. This is the pie and the cake that is coming in. As is, not only should we have, because the investment authorities are coming in, you also, as the heads of the other side, please come in and we see what we can do for this summit, because it is it's going to be so big for us as East Africa and an opportunity for all of us.
Looking at it in this way,
one very important one, the nature of such events that are of an international aliwa demands orderliness. There shall be accreditation. So it's important that you register, that you click that link. And if you are unable, if you are for some reason not yet digital, approach us, come to plot 43 Nakasero, we will help you. There shall be registration, accreditation ahead of the summit, because we do not expect our esteemed members to simply turn up at Serena Conference Center to attend. So please use this opportunity. We have only 24 days to the Investment and Business Forum. Please do use this opportunity. To our colleagues around the world and in the region, please register now, and we are pleased to host you, pleased to treat you to Uganda's hospitality. You're welcome.
And indeed, you need to be very formal, because you're going to be dealing with various business-minded people who are already living in a world of organization. I should put it in that way. Let me get back to Ronnie Mulongo here. For a business person who wants to give Private Sector Foundation a vote of confidence in the business forum coming up, what assurance would you give to them? We're heading into a new year. We expect new things coming up. And we expect someone to come very sure that they're going to have a good time. And a good time in business is I expect to meet my clients, I expect to meet the people I want to pitch my ideas to, and also I expect the organization to be top-notch. What could you give as an assurance to the viewers?
The biggest assurance I'm going to give, one, is that we are having the event, that's number one, first of all. The summit is there.
It is there. There's no in
it's
between.
Not running
Yes.
away.
It's a fact.
It's a fact. It is there.
Okay.
And we're having the business delegates who are coming. They're going to be coming from Middle East, India, China. We're having those ones who are coming in from that. All right? Those areas. Now, what is in for us as the business hub? Number one, we know we want to promote joint ventureships, and there's going to be, most of the time we business people in Uganda here don't want to get into partnerships and joint ventures. And this is quite critical, because you may not have the working capital, but getting through a joint venture, you will end up moving and pushing your business to another level.
So
now,
true.
that is already one opportunity. And this is already something that is already sure deal. It is going to be there. Two, we are going to attract investments. Investments are going to be attracted. And if you are that business person, or there's what we call a feasibility study. You have a project that you want to present and pitch. This is the time for you to meet with Uganda Investment Authority. Ensure that you have that project registered and find out, is it a greenfield, is it amber, or is it red? That is now with Uganda Investment Authority, and they will get you the right pitch. For those ones who are already in business, as PSFU, we are going to ensure that we match make you with what my Vice Chairperson Sarah has mentioned. We are going to match make you with the right business persons to ensure that we grow your businesses. And this is quite critical for your business growth. Otherwise, if we don't match make you to the right one, you end up getting lost into that area.
Okay.
And then for those ones, because in Uganda we are trying to say that what we have at stake right now, we have the products. In some areas, we don't have the equipment. We need the investment. In terms of ICT and technology, as a country, we are growing at a very fast rate. We have one of the brilliant minds and knowledge from our young people in the area of BPO. So what is that can be invested in BPO, in ICT, that we can help grow up in software and so forth? So these are the assurances that I can give the business people, is that the opportunities are enormous and vast. We are going to get all those, because the market, first of all, we are now tapping into African continental free trade area. We're going to have the business, big people, like for instance, we have been hearing of Dangote, but now we are going to see him coming down here into Uganda. For those who have not got time to see him now, we're going to get opportunity.
Live.
You're going to see him live coming down into this and seeing that what is that is so special about Uganda that can bring. So these are the areas and critical to us as the business people.
Okay, and I'll get back now to Ms. Sarah Kajingo as we are winding up with our conversation this afternoon. Looking at the summits that are taking up, what would be your parting shots and what would be your words of encouragement to everyone willing and those who have already started registering to be part of the business forum?
It's just to say that the forum promises a future that's very, very vibrant, a future of shared global affluence, a future of our individual business growth, a future of collective progress as members of NAM and G77. So please do not miss out. This is historic, it is momentous, it is a once in a lifetime chance. Please come and learn. There are opportunities to share a vibrant marketplace of opportunities, knowledge transfer, learn how knowledge economies are run elsewhere in the world. We are always happy to handhold you and to the youth who are the majority in the country. PSFU, supported by our partners, MasterCard, we have cumulatively, through our lead farm structure, created over 416,000 jobs. We know that the future of work in Uganda and in the region has changed. You can work remotely. So please join a membership association, a business membership association in your sector, in your area. We have been moving to the countryside. Recently, we had a business expo in West Nile. We have reached out to Mbarara. We are going to reach out to the east so that we ensure that these opportunities are known to everyone. But first, let's execute this very well. Let's position our country as a top destination for investment, as a country of hard-working people, which we are. Ugandans are known around the world as hospitable, as the friendliest, as very, very entrepreneurial. So let's showcase our products, showcase our services, but also get to sell.
Okay.
Position yourself to sell, to earn back from this business forum and the summit.
All right. And Mr. Ronnie Mulongo, what would be your parting shots this afternoon?
What I would say is that first I would like to thank you for having hosted PSFU.
Pleasure is ours.
And to our business people out there, to everyone, this is not a PSFU event, this is your event. And we would like to welcome you to this event. Come January, we want to see you all there so that we take up this opportunity for the brighter future. Because the future lies in what you do. When you sit back as a business person, the business moves away from you. But when you go look for it, you know, business people usually take the risks. They are the highest people who take the risks and ensure that they reach where they have to reach. And there, if you take the risk in anything to do with business, in areas of trade, in areas of investments, in areas of tourism, whatever the sector it is, you are looking at the future.
Okay.
Not today. And that I would like to welcome you come January. But one thing, register. If you forget to register, you reach on the door
be locked out.
because of the delegation that you're going to find there. It's going to be a very big challenge for you to be allowed in. Other than that, wish you a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
Happy holidays and a joyous New Year.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen and lady. Now, the two I've been having in studio is Ms. Sarah Kajingo, who is the Vice Chairperson, Board of Directors, Private Sector Foundation of Uganda. And also, on the other hand, I've been having Mr. Ronnie Mulongo, who is serving as the Private Sector Foundation Member Services Manager. That is why he has also further emphasized on the issue to register. Mine is to make sure that I usher you into the NAM and G77 Summit Scam 2024. And I will definitely say we as UBC are taking a very right stride to ensure that you get this particular insights rather than getting into something you do not understand better. Our focus today has been on the Private Sector Foundation and also looking at the East African Business and Investment Summit that will as well run in January, as the G77 Summit is what we are looking at as the bigger picture. Like the theme says, we are leaving no one behind, surely. Have yourselves all the best for the afternoon till the next time as we talk matters G77 and NAM Summits 2024. Good afternoon.